Ooh, what's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another session of Coffee and Martial Arts. Salute, salute, salute. Cheers. Coffee very good this morning, as usual. So thank you all for being here. We have a very special show today for you. A great guest, Kenpo Master, who's been around Kenpo for years. Yeah, like half a century. Yeah, it's been a while. So this gentleman, it's an Irish fighter, a true warrior who's been in the arts for long and who's been a driving force of Kenpo in Ireland and Europe and actually in the world now. He has gone through success, and it's truly an honor for me to welcome him to the show. I met Maestro John back in '99, the first time I went up to Dublin and Wicklow with, I was the assistant instructor of Grandmaster Tatum. And from then on, well, we've seen each other in different Kenpo events. And I have the pleasure and the honor to share the match with him. And, well, let's not say any more. Let's bring him in. Hello, sir.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
It's nice to have you here, John.
Great to be here.
Thank you for accepting the invitation. It's truly an honor.
Oh, it works both ways.
So
before we go any further, I just want to say to you and to everybody, this platform is brilliant, and people like you promoting Kenpo through it. It's what we need during this pandemic and lockdown times. You're doing a great job, Frank. Keep on up.
Thank you very much, sir. And that's the whole idea, to give out a positive image of Kenpo and the martial arts. But basically, well, Kenpo, it's my foundational art. So for me to be able to bring people like you who are passionate and dedicated to the arts and have been dedicated to it for most of your life, I mean, it's truly an honor. So thank you, and thank you for the kind words. So let's see. We already have comments here. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Okay, everyone. Just before we start, remember that we're going live through Facebook, through my web fan page, Facebook page, which is Master Frank Soto. You can find it at Kinetic Dragon. And also we have the International Hall of Fame from Argentina. Thank you to all the people of the International Hall of Fame of Argentina. They're always supporting us, and we are part of that movement. Okay, and we're also going live through YouTube. Okay, you can find it at Frank Soto Kinetica or Kinetic Dragon. You can look for it like that. And we have already comments. Okay, so Vangelis Drosos, hello from Greece. Thank you, sir. Hello. Carlos Zamora, muy buenos días. Provechito. Good morning. Salud. Good coffee, yes. Alexander Ribeiro, greetings from Portugal. Wow. See, you're a very popular man, sir. Jose Montiel, greeting from Dublin. Thank you. Maestro Richard Matthews. Hey, John. Hi from Jersey. You guys were having some type of comments last time I was talking to him that somebody owed somebody around or something. Was it like that?
Yeah, the usual drink-fueled conversation Richard and I normally have.
Nice. Rafael Herrera. Saludo. Combat Fusion Martial Arts. Hey, John and Frank. Hello from England. Nice.
That's Andy Cedarton.
Nice. Hello, sir. Liam Brady. Hey, everyone. Love the show. Thank you, sir. Bagelli says thank you. Oh, my God. Dwayne Williams. Hi to everyone from Ireland. Nice. Okay, lots of people. Hello. Okay, sir. So let's go into you. Okay. Every time I have some new guests here at the show, I usually ask them a little bit about their background. Okay, so can you share just a little bit about, you know, your martial arts background, Kenpo background, all that, please?
Well, I started back in 1972 when everything was black and white.
I was born in 72.
Well, then you know how long I'm there. And I started off in one of the more famous clubs in Ireland, is High Street Kenpo. It was then run by, like, that's it. Back in the day, that's me with the hair.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you got me all right.
That was sent. That was courtesy of Maestro Patrick Kennedy, and he said hi.
Yeah, it was a battle between Paddy and I to see who had the longest hair. He won. Yeah, that was 72. And as you can see, the instructor in the centre at the back is Barney Coleman. He's the one that, him and Mr. Shea Paget, they brought that club up to what it was and what it is today. His family have now taken over. But back then, we were doing what John McSweeney brought to Ireland.
Right.
You know, what they call traditional Kenpo now, or old Kenpo. It's all Kenpo. It's evolved, as you know.
Right.
Was away from it for a while. I went and I dabbled with Wing Chun and Aikido, and wasn't for me. Kenpo was where I wanted. And that's where I went, and that's where I stayed. And still there, still training, still learning.
So you've been doing this for 48 years, almost 50 years. 49
50 years next year. Yeah, please God, if I live that long.
Wow, amazing.
Well, hanging in.
Yeah, I'm going to be 49 this year. So basically, You've been doing Kenpo for as long as I have lived. So wow, a little bit longer because I was born in October. So I guess you started earlier than that, right?
Maybe April, May, I think.
Wow, amazing. What are the biggest changes that you have seen through all these years? Because I think this is very interesting.
Well, the Kenpo we did earlier on was what was brought here by John McSweeney.
Right.
Okay. Ireland is what made the IKKA. The IKKA, they put the I in it for international. Okay. It was the first Kenpo school outside of the USA. And basically what we did then was monkey see, monkey do. You were never given an explanation of what to do or why you're doing that. You know, we got by because we were a minority. You know, the minority of people that did martial arts, it was us. Nobody else was doing martial arts. So that made what we had really, really good.
Right.
And it wasn't until the late 80s I went to see a seminar by John Sepulveda. And at that point, I was ready to just pack up Kenpo. There was nothing there. It was kind of repetition. But when I saw what that man was doing, I just said, that's where I'm going. So I must express my thanks to both John Sepulveda and to Eddie Downey for all the help they gave me in those early days to come through what they call the new system. And, you know, they were just selfless with their help.
Right. So, is that the man?
That's the man. Never met him, but it's his system that we did.
He looks tough though, right?
He was reputedly a tough guy, a hard man. Like, if he hit you, you didn't want the second one.
Nice.
And there's still people here in Ireland to this day still practicing what he taught. Right.
So then you started with Sepulveda, with Maestro Sepulveda, right?
I went with Ed Downey, who was John Sepulveda's rep here, and Eddie. Oh, he was brilliant with the help he gave me, the insights he had. He just shared his information freely. Do you know what I mean? Everybody was the same to him, and it made a difference, and it kind of set me on a path of helping other people. If other people are stuck for information, and if I have it, I give it to them. Because it got me this far.
So the one who started the transition from the previous version of Kenpo, you could say, that Mr. McSweeney brought to Ireland, and started promoting the new version of Kenpo, the so-called American Kenpo. Was Eddie Downey? He was the one bringing.
Not Eddie Downey. There were a couple before him. There was I can't even remember his name now. He's out on the north side. Ambrose Maloney, Shay McNamee,
right.
Paul Dowling. They were all with the IKKA, whereas the group I was with was outside the IKKA, and seminars always seemed to be IKKA only.
Ah, that's different back in those days, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So you moved to the IKKA?
Moved to the IKKA in 1991.
Oh, so that was after Mr. Parker's passing.
Yes. I only was at maybe 2 or 3 seminars with Mr. Parker.
You did go, but you did meet the man, though.
Oh, yeah. Scary man. His hands were this size.
Right. And he was amazing, I bet, huh?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so you started with McSweeney's Kenpo,
Mm-hmm.
and then you moved on from there. How was the environment in Ireland, besides being, like you said, like the few ones? When did it start growing? Did you have like any other different arts? Because you said you practiced some Aikido and
but the biggest art came like because it's commercially pushed all the time was Taekwondo.
Right.
That was, and at the height of martial arts here during the Bruce Lee era, it was Taekwondo and Kenpo.
Ah, okay.
Less, more so than the traditional Shodokans or Wado-Ryu arts, which are still around.
So Kenpo has always been big in Ireland.
Kenpo has always been big. I'd say it's the second biggest system in Ireland after Taekwondo.
Still.
Nice.
That's cool. So we have lots of more comments, so let me share some of them. Okay. We have Keating. Is that correct? Hi, John and Frank. Hello, Ken. Ken
Keating, yes.
Ken Keating, yes, Ken.
Well,
Hi, Ken. I'm sorry.
Ken's other instructor before he came to train with me was Tommy Jordan. He was one of Ireland's first black belts under John McSweeney.
And you've known Mr. Jordan for a long time, I bet.
Long time, yeah.
Yeah, he's. I met the man, amazing gentleman. I really enjoy your conversations, and a lot of history there as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you started in martial arts with Kenpo? That was
with Kenpo, yeah.
That was your first start in '72, then.
Yeah.
And you were a young lad, like we see in the picture.
I was. How it came about, I was an apprentice bricklayer, or mason as you call them over there, on a building site. And I seen 2 guys practicing at lunchtime. And I said, what's that? You know, and I liked the fluidity of what they were doing. And I said, that's for me.
Nice. Diego Andrés Salvucci, saludos desde Buenos Aires. Salud to Buenos Aires, Argentina. Hello, sir. Hola. Sean O'Reilly. Hi, everyone. Greetings from Dublin also. Nice.
Great, kid.
Hey, here we go. Nasim Holmes. Hi, Mr. Soto and Ward. Greeting from Cape Town, South Africa.
Hi, Nasim. How are you? Great to see you on here.
Nice, man, Nasim. You know, I've never met him personally, but I used to talk through Messenger and stuff, text. When was this? Like 10, 12 years ago with him a lot. When he was getting his first degree. I think he had it from your group.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, nice man. He has done a good job there, huh?
Yeah, he's plugging away down in Cape Town. He's doing what he does best.
Nice. Well, my respects to you, sir. Jermis Caraballo, hola, éxito, mis amigos y hermanos en Kenpo. What's up? Cheers. Okay, Jim Recepka, good morning, sirs. Love to visit Ireland. Very nice people, very welcoming and warm people, and you will have a great time if you go there, for sure. You know, I always compared Ireland with the Mexican culture. The first time I was there, I remember going to James Leonard's house. I stayed at his place, at his mother's place, basically. And his mother reminded me a lot of the Mexican moms. You know, she was a
Food you like you haven't
lady.
eaten in a month.
Right. She was a tough lady, you know, very strong and demanding. She was in charge of the house, basically. She was the boss, la jefa, right? And very Catholic oriented, and then also heavy beer drinkers. So basically, I felt at home.
Yeah, we're culturally alike.
We are in so many different ways. I mean, it's a completely different place and different people, but we are so much alike in so many details. It was just amazing. I loved it. You know, Saeed Khan said, "Hi, Mr. Soto, Mr. Ward. Another hello from Cape Town." Nice. Haronis Fotis Kenpo, hi, sir. Greeting from Greece. Full salute and respect.
Hola, Haronis.
Hello. Okay. Reedy one? How do you say this? Mouser. Greeting, Mr. Probably. I'm sorry. I don't. My English is not that good, I guess. Greeting, Mr. Soto and Mr. Ward from South Africa. Oh, okay, that sums it up. Well, I'm not familiar with those names, but thank you for being here, sir. And I'm sorry about not knowing how to say your name properly. My bad. Okay, Mr. Abbott, Damien, Pittsburgh, many years ago. Mr. Ward, he says what? Okay, let's see what we got here. I think we have a video of you in Pittsburgh. Okay, so Mr. Ward hijacked me into teaching an impromptu seminar from a room full of mostly non-Kempoists. I had no gi and don't even think I had breakfast. They seem to enjoy it, though. John Stills owe me a pint for that. Okay, let's see. There we are. Pittsburgh 2018. So you've been around the crowd with that group of fine martial artists. I remember that much.
Yeah, I think we had Topo up there one year.
Right. Yeah, and you invited me one year. I just couldn't make it. I'm sorry about that, by the way. But there you are teaching, and you see a karate guy in the background, couple karate guys.
Yeah, they're Joe Kerr from Florida. That's young Sean O'Reilly that said hi earlier. Great kid. Going to be one of the best to come.
Nice. Yeah, there's also a video of him doing something as well in your face.
Young, confident, and competent.
Nice. Richard Matthews says, "Good luck with that."
That's getting the point from Damien.
Yeah. Daniel Donahue, looking good, John Ward. Hope you're keeping well.
Daniel Donahue, one of the good Waterloo exponents here in Dublin. Him and his father,
Nice.
Long time around.
Nice. Thank you, sir, for watching the show. Bara the Roysty, looking good, Mr. Ward.
And it's another one of the students. Barry Roach, that's his name, Osquailga. Bara the Rochta.
Bara the Rochta. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. And hello, sir. Lee Peterson, greetings from South Africa, supervised by Master John Ward. Wow, so many people from South Africa today. Nice.
That's good. Nice to see. Get the platform up and out there and share it around.
Neville Fowler says, "Good evening, sirs, from Holmes Self-Defense in Cape Town." Saeed Omer, I guess it says, "Greetings from South Africa. I'm a student of Mr. Nassim Holmes, and he has a question. How has your Kenpo transformed over the years? That's a good question.
Well, from what we used to do, where our horse stance would be kind of 45 degrees, my biggest problem was building in that toe to heel line. That was one of the biggest problems I had. We had big circles, now we've condensed them. We were given more knowledge, more information on why we do it. You know, we were given references between techniques, forms, and sets, whereas before it was kind of do that, do that, do that. But now we have a reason and a purpose. I find my Kenpo has gone more relaxed than it used to be, like tough guy, wham, bam. You know, there's no need for it. Technique is exactly what it is, technique. You know, different instructors have taught me different things, you know, over the years, which just helped. Like Hook Planet taught me about category completion. I've seen Larry do his techniques. Skip Hancock has a brain that would just fry yours listening to him. And Dorian with our teachings on timings, you know, like no one Kenpo senior rank knows the system. You need to get them all together because the system is still growing.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. Okay. Let's see. Angelo Colado.
Flanta. It was just cheers.
Cheers. Maestro Frank Bigoriux. Big hug, Frank. My regards to Mr. Ward. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. I've seen him working when he was at Dorian's event in Boston.
Right.
You know, lovely gig.
Yeah, amazing Kenpoist and a great performer. I mean, the way he moves and performs is just gives a good name to the art for sure.
Yeah.
Carlos Quiroz, hola de Portugal. I love training with the professor. Nice.
Van tardes, Carlos.
Carlos Olmos, saludos, un abrazo, saludos maestro, big hugs, abrazo. Saeed Omer says Master Nassim Holm teaches his techniques using his understanding of science and body mechanics that makes it easy apply. Good. That's what it's about, right? Marcio Atalaya dos Santos. Greetings, Master Frank. Greetings, Maestro. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. Patrick Kennedy. Hi, John. Well done, bud. I hope you enjoyed the back photo of 1971. You're talking about
that's an antique. That should be just burned.
I like your smile there, man. See, it's the same smile. That's how I recognize you.
That's because the guy, Jerry Moore, next to me had just pinched my butt.
Of course. Oh, man. Amazing. Okay, let's see. We have way more comments. See, let's have more comments here. Okay. And by the way, thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Thank you, Maestro. Said says, Mr. Nassim Holmes speaks very highly of Master John Ward. Pleasure to finally meet you. Nice. He is a nice gentleman, that's for sure. And a great Kenpoist as well. So it really is an honor to have you here on the show, sir.
Great to be here. Help share what we have.
IKK Portugal. Greetings on our Master John Ward. Nice. Another familiar face here. Maestrazo, William, Larry Congaika. Hello, brother.
Aloha, brother.
Yeah, he's Maestro Congaika is definitely one that I want to invite here to the podcast. I really admired his Kenpo. He's a great and his heart. He just has a bigger heart than, I mean, he's just a monster, but his heart, I believe, is bigger than his. And also, that's of course a big compliment. I mean it in a good way.
A really nice guy.
Yeah. Marcio Atalaya dos Santos, saludos. Kenpo, Brazil, saludos. Thank you, sir. All the way to Brazil. It's an honor to say hello. Frank Fenning, hello from Germany.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, another Kenpo great maestro, Daryl Liner. Hey, hello, brother. Another one of the big guys. Combat Fusion says, what did he say there?
Susta Scripta.
Which is?
For another day.
Okay. We don't need to know. That's fine.
No.
Entrepreneur. Salute. Salute, sir. Okay, so so you've gone through the we still talk a lot about the traditional Kenpo or the original Kenpo, and then the American Kenpo, and then the Ed Parker's Kenpo, and of course they're all Kenpo, like you well said.
Yeah.
And you already talk about the difference and stuff.
But you see, Ireland was in a stage over the years where it had actually no contact with the USA. There were no updates. So what we did. And then all of a sudden information started coming in, and a couple of the Irish started going over. John Conway went over and started training over there and started bringing information back. And we're kind of looking at this going, this is totally different.
Right.
Whereas we were in Groundhog Day, it was evolving all the time elsewhere. So when it came back, it looked like a whole new system.
Yeah, because Ireland was the first country that had American Kenpo or Ed Parker's Kenpo besides the US, right?
Yeah.
I think it was 63 or 64?
62.
62. Wow. And then it was Chile in 64. I think with Arturo Petit. 64, 65. So those were the first two countries that had brought Kenpo from the US. So the Kenpo back in those days, I guess, like you said, the big like square stance.
Yeah.
Right, going into the corners instead of total heel alignment.
Yeah. Put my hands up and kick me in the groin.
Yeah, right. And so from 62 all the way up to what? To the early 80s?
I'd say the early 80s, it started to creep through.
With Mr. Conway.
Or we were, let's see it.
Right. So that was almost 20 years.
Like it was very political then. If you're not with us, you won't be allowed in to see Ed Parker. You can't train with Tommy Jordan. You can't go here. They all had this kind of control thing going on.
And I guess it was kind of like the same with Mr. Parker's in the US a little bit. Because I remember Mr. Tatum talking about that you couldn't go into the advanced class, for example, if you were not a brown belt or black belt and were invited. You couldn't even watch it. So
that's it. Like politics ruins everything. It messed up Kenpo for a while, but I think we're all grown up and gotten over that. Everybody talks to each other and supports each other. Kenpo in Ireland is great. I mightn't talk to some guy from one year to the other, but there's an event on, and they come and support it.
And do you think it's better now that everybody has access to all of the system, or was it better before?
It is. Like they see stuff. Like what they really lack is an understanding of what they're doing. That's just my opinion. They can all do the system, but they don't all know the system. Not saying I do either. But whatever information I have, you can have it.
Right.
There's none of this, keep the information. Like we used to call it mushroom Kenpo, kept in the dark and fed shit.
Okay. So it's much better now that everybody has access.
Yeah, it is. And people are willing to put their past aside and get in and train with each other,
Right. But Okay, back in the 70s and 80s, the so-called golden era of Kenpo,
Mm.
and you compare that with today.
Well, back then you kind of had the elitists who were with Ed Parker. Nobody did it, only them. And then there were the original crowd down here, and they didn't mix. Oh no, this is what my instructor taught me, but this is what it's grown to. And then the few of us were kind of stuck in the middle like this, wondering where to go.
Right.
And that's how I came across. Went to a seminar with John Sepulveda and Eddie Downey's club, myself and Billy Kelly. We had just opened Castle School in 1991. And we went up to the seminar and we kind of looked and said, this is for us. This is what we're doing. So we both joined the IKK at that stage. Then Willie went on to keep the schools going he had over in Holland.
Wow. Yeah, because I started with Kenpo in '94. So, and I never heard of it before that when I bumped into it. I wasn't even looking for it. And I didn't know it existed. So, so I don't know all of, I mean, I've heard a lot of the stories, but I didn't experience them. So,
well, like when we started, it was just white, brown, black,
right?
White, brown tips, 3, brown, black tips, 3, black belt. That was it. And you tested when your instructor said you were ready. You daredn't ask, you know. But it was around like there was 32 techniques, you know, each time there's belt.
You
As
did?
opposed to like we're doing 24 at the moment. Some people do 16, you know. But the biggest improvement I seen was when they named the techniques. When we got the techniques with names, because it has a direct reference on what you're doing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was before like you were going for a test and there was 20 punch techniques. 1, 2, oh, did I do number 3 or number 4? And you've no real reference back and forward. So it actually made it easier to study.
Right.
You know.
So you had 3 whites, 3 browns, and then black belt, and you had 30
white belt, and then you got 3 brown tips on it, and then
right.
You did your brown belt, and then you did 3 black tips, and then you did your black belt. And then that changed, and they brought in a colored belt. But what the purple and the green were switched around compared to what they are now. The purple was before the brown, whereas now the green is before the brown.
Right. And when was that? Which year?
That was in the late 70s, mid 70s, around 75, I'd say.
And they changed the techniques when they did that, or was still the same?
No, techniques stayed the same.
And so you did 32 techniques per belt.
Yeah. That was for a yellow belt. And then what they did was the green tip on the yellow belt was a sparring test. Not techniques, not forms. It was a sparring test. But like I suppose everybody was wondering what was happening. Like the European sports boards were going on about you can't do this and you can't do this. So they were all trying to find their own feet. You know, like there's a lot of people that did a lot of work for martial arts over here. And one of the guys that was on earlier, Pat Kennedy, he was probably the guy that did the most. Like he formed the Martial Arts Commission here that got government recognition. You know?
Nice. Okay. Saeed Omer asks, Master John Ward, when will we get an online seminar from you in South Africa, Cape Town?
If you contact Nazim, he'll organise it.
Nice. There
That's
you go.
the best I can do with you there. I can't go more than 5 kilometers from my house at the moment with the lockdown.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mark Valens says, hello, sir, gentlemen from UK. Much respects. Hello. Steve Harms says, greetings from the UK.
Another good guys.
Hello, sir. Greetings from Mexico. Kenpo Karate, Lanzarote. Greetings for Grandmaster John.
Hola, Wellington.
Grande maestro. Grande.
No.
Saying from the Canary Islands, Spain. Right. Juan Tomás Navarrete, saludos desde España. Saludos. Vageli says, Ward, thank you to we are now with you. Okay, so today we see Kenpo and we have all these different flavors of different association, different people, and people researching and all this stuff for the art. And we are competing with Taekwondo, we're competing with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we're competing with the MMA. I mean, there's so many different martial arts now that weren't here or weren't in the 40, 50 years ago. So where do you see Kenpo? Okay, let's go first. If you have a student coming into your school, okay, and asking you, excuse me, sir, I want to join your art, but why would what does Kenpo has to offer me that's better than the other arts? Or what would you say? How would you sell your Kenpo if they ask you, why is it Kenpo better? Or why would I join Kenpo?
Kenpo to me is based on instinct that we elaborate on. Okay. If you meet a child, never saw martial art in his life, and you go to tap him on the head, he does this automatically. And all we do is capitalize on that motion.
Okay.
And, it's all about motion. Like, if you understand motion, you can do any martial art, but Kenpo teaches you to understand motion. Okay, it falls back as regards weapons and stuff like that, but that's where the Filipinos excel. We can't be touched.
Right.
Grappling, to me, if I can do a technique on this plane, I can do a technique on that plane.
Right.
It's understanding the universal pattern as 360s instead of 2D. It's just working the motion on a different plane. It gives you the opportunity to use the opposite motion, the reverse motion.
So you would say that Kenpo, let's see, what word am I looking for? Kenpo's best feature is that the study of motion. The understanding?
I think, yeah. Kenpo to me is the study of motion, the study of the opposite motion, the study of the reverse motion, the perceptual motion. Will he work this way? Will I have to work this way? It's Kenpo is no one thing. To me, Kenpo will evolve between the start of this show and the end of the show. It will continue to evolve if people want it to.
Right.
If you have a thirst for knowledge, you'll go and seek it. If you're happy where you are, you'll always be there.
Of course. Okay. Paul Slater says, how's the coffee?
Mine's good.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Okay, so we have a comment here. Damien says, the names for the techniques didn't come without their consequences. The irony is your individual spontaneity ultimately develops more freely when you remove that framework.
The technique names came with consequences, but to me, they describe the technique, the motion you're going to use, it doesn't employ principles or concepts, but it's not until you get an understanding. To me, it was a tool to help you remember a lesson, not a law, a lesson.
Okay.
My instructor, Dorian D'Arienzo, keeps telling me techniques are lessons, not laws.
Right.
It's like if you're looking at, if we do checking the storm, and we do use the right blade kick to the opposite knee, and we take it from this quadrant down to this quadrant, and we call it buckling branch. You're doing a left kick to the opposite leg again. But the lesson in those techniques is cover your center line.
Right.
And it should be, that's one lesson that should be pulled right through the system. That to
Okay.
me gives me, that's what I use Kenpo for. That's how I teach it.
Okay. And going through this line of this idea, these comments, could you teach Kenpo without techniques?
You would have to have a fairly intelligent student who could adapt them from forms,
Okay.
from sets. But if you look at coordination set 1 and long form 2, it's going to teach you the same thing.
Right. So techniques, I'm asking this because then techniques are helpful.
Techniques are very helpful, yeah. They put you, it's like you learn the techniques and then somebody comes along and says, okay, now we're going to give you an extension. The extensions, I'm not crazy about them, but you'll find yourself someday in a position that you didn't plan on being there, and you'll pick something out of the extensions that will work for you.
And you think the extensions wouldn't also have a concept or a principle that you weren't covered before or not?
No, they do. Well, if you look at the purple belt extensions alone, like 90% of them, you're destroying his legs, you're taking away his base.
Right.
You don't do that. You don't do that for any continued time throughout the system. But here we are with one complete set of extensions, and you know yourself, you're just taking his legs away, you're disturbing his base, you're taking his, you're checking his width lowercase all the time.
Right. So there is something new there.
Always something new. And if you keep looking, you'll find something new.
Right. Agree. So it's better, you said for you, it's much better to have techniques with names because it's easier to teach and it's easier to remember. Therefore,
for me personally, yeah, it is. Like delayed swords, it's self-explanatory. This is the last shot. It's used like a sword. It's delayed. It's the last one. Like, hello.
Right.
And I believe that people have to have a certain intelligence to actually practice Kenpo.
Okay. So why do you think Mr. Parker changed Kenpo from the previous version you learned into the new version and kept on evolving?
Well, maybe like most of us, you've been going around and working on a technique line and you've ended up in a position where, oh, holy, this side is open. Why didn't I check that earlier? So we'll adapt. We have to, like, if you look at, if Angelo's on, no slag on Angelo is a bit shorter than me. Right. What I use my legs for, he won't use his legs for. So we have to adapt that. And that's the gift of Kenpo. That and the formulation equation makes the whole art. You know what I mean?
Right.
We all have different body makes. We all have different ways of working. Now, if two Kenpos look the same, there's something wrong.
I agree. Yes. Okay. Are
the clones or clowns?
So, where do you think Mr. Parker got his Kenpo?
I'd say from looking at every martial art that was around him in that melting pot that they call Los Angeles. Like if you look at the influence of Jimmy Rook in the later forms as opposed to the Matosi influence on the start of the forms where they're all, solid block, punch, and you come to the other ones, the short form threes, and they become more flowery and fluid. There's a Filipino influence there and some of the techniques as you go along. There's some that's adapted against boxers, some adapted against wrestlers, but basically it's the same motion. Like as you said, linear becomes circular, circular becomes linear because you have to adapt in the situation. Nobody's going to come at you and say, block that, That doesn't happen. That happens in the dojo.
Right.
That's it.
Right. That's it.
You have to be kind of semi-gaseous at all times.
So basically all of the Kenpo system comes from Mr. Parker.
No, I wouldn't totally agree with it, and I'd probably be hung out to dry over it. But to me, look at the thesis. People got to do thesis, and they became sets.
Right.
Cake set, somebody's thesis. Great kicking exercise. But they forgot to tell you that you really should do it on both sides because the balance of right and left kicks is off. You know, Mr. Sullivan, you know, with his bow form.
Right, the staff set,
You know,
right.
everybody that's practicing Kenpo is contributing to Kenpo.
Okay.
Like you yourself, when you come out with your Kinetica, you know, using balance points. That's something that wasn't there. You brought it softer. Whereas people were going, here, I'll hit him on the hip to bend him, and you'll go, I'll hit him on the hip and just disturb him.
Right.
You know?
Well, I don't know if I have contributed to Kenpo, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yes. Mm. So what would you say, for example, we have the Form 7, right? The club forms or sticks, but they're not really, they're supposed to be clubs, right? What would you say is the big difference between that and like the Filipino sticks?
If I was to go with 2 sticks against the Filipino guy, I might as well just start beating myself with the sticks. Because all it's going to, and I mean that. You know,
right.
Anybody who's doing a screamer or our niece and they look at you going Form 7 and they go, you know, they're going to laugh at you. To me, it's just giving you an extension of range.
Okay.
Okay. That's it. You know, it's if you look at the techniques, we're just extending the range. Okay. If you look at it, Filipinos start at knife and walk their way through. We start at hand, we go to bow, we go to stick, we go to knife, and then we're back to hand. So we've taken the scenic route. It's just adjusting range. That's my opinion.
And wouldn't that be this? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, I was going to ask, wouldn't that be the same thing with grappling, for example? If you want to go to grappling, go to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys? Or no?
No, I would totally agree with it because they specialize in that.
And they do it all the time, right?
That's it. If we go to the ground, we'll eventually get over it if it's a one-on-one. But if you go to the ground with a jiu-jitsu guy, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you probably should have just choked yourself as well.
Yeah. Beat myself with a stick as well.
Yeah, see, that's exactly okay. But I think in a way, Kenpo, it's more, of course, it's more a striking art, but specialized more like with multiple opponents and stuff like that we don't see in many other arts, right?
That's it, like a technique, like multiple opponent techniques and stuff like that. You know, no other system does it. Like if you look at the Shotacans of the water and they're doing that one-stop attack and one-stop defense, you know, it doesn't give them the opportunity to defend against more than one, unless it's really well rehearsed or drawn as a bunkai from a kata.
Right.
Sorry, Frank, I'm going to have to go in 2 minutes because I have a Zoom class for the
okay,
Kiwis. Sure. Apologies to everybody. Love to stay here all night, but you know yourself.
You want to add something before you go? Let me just say that I'll say where they can find you after you leave. So you want to add something before you go?
No, just to reiterate where I said, like, nobody completely knows Kenpo because it's constantly evolving. Everybody has an opinion, and I'll just give you one example. I was a 3rd degree black belt, and I was teaching one of my kids, 6-year-old. Derek Laffin was his name. He got nicknamed the professor after this. And I said, okay, we're going to teach you long kimono tonight. And he says, no, I have that. And I looked at his book. And I said, no, you don't have it. He says, yes, I do have it, Mr. Ward. I said, well, what is it? He said, it's the first 3 moves of the star block set. Now, a 6-year-old child saw that. And me, as a big macho, 3rd degree, didn't see it. Listen to the students.
Right. Well, let's just say fast. Jim Recepka, do you know if Tracy is different than the one you started with?
Yeah.
Saeed says a lot of the Kenpo techniques are just to suit South African conditions and attacks while keeping the principles of the techniques. Have you adjusted the American Kenpo to tailor the Irish conditions? And one more, Eddie Medina, will you say you learn just enough to other arts to defend? For example, in grappling, learn sprawls and escape so you can get back on your feet where we shine. Great live. So some questions there. We are out of time.
Okay, people, I just love to learn, and I hope you do too. Keep on going. Everybody has something to offer, regardless of rank. I went to Mr. Parker's club in '96. There was a green belt teaching the class as we walked in, and I learned something. You know, nobody's above learning, and if they are, not worth learning from.
Right.
Listen, people, salute all around to everybody. Thanks so much for having me, and hopefully we get to meet each other again.
Thank you very much, sir. You take
Just
care.
do me one favor. Say hi to Fufu for me.
Yes, sir. Will do.
Israel. Okay.
Yes.
Take care then. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was Maestro John Ward. So let me go through some of the comments. Okay, Eddie Medina, would you say learn just enough of other arts to defend? For example, in grappling, Mr. Medina, I know that Maestro Ward is not here, but I can answer that from my perspective and say yes, of course. And this was also said by Mr. Tatum when he was here on the show. He said that you need to have answers for other guys in other arts, like for example, grapplers. Yes, you definitely have to need counters for them. Okay. Jim Recepka says, great live. Thank you, sir. Combat Fusion Martial Arts Wisdom. Thanks to John. Salute. I'm hoping he will see this afterwards. Mr. Horns, very informative, great coffee and martial arts session. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you. Thank you a lot. Thank you for watching the show. Said Khan. Thank you so much, Mr. Soto and Mr. Ward. Thank you. Eddie Menina, great ending note. Thank you. Jao Diaz, congratulations for the excellent work. A strong to all and successes. I greet you from Brasilia, Brazil. Wow. Thank you, sir. Pranic Healing, Greece. Wow. Hello. Nasim Holmes, awesome show again, Mr. Master Frank Soto. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Nasim, and salute to you. Luis Gutierrez, says mi maestro John Ward. Luis, going to be on the show next Saturday. Te vemos el sábado, mi estimado. Por favor, mándame una foto para el póster de Open Mat Talks. Dwayne Williams, thank you, Mr. Ward and Mr. Soto. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Luis Gutierrez says, no one is more fun than Mr. John Ward. He's the best guy here ever. Thank you. Thank you. Reader One Mauser, awesome show. Luis Gutierrez, saludos, mi Frank Soto. No te me pierdas, mi estimado. Kenpo Karate Lanzarote, muchas gracias, Master Soto y Master John Ward. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Gracias a todos por ver. Okay, if you want to contact Mr. Ward, just go through his Facebook, Ward Kenpo Schools Internationals. Okay, you can see him there. They're going to have an international virtual training camp in the middle of April. Okay, there's the, okay, let's see. There's the poster right there, the publicity. They're going to have Grandmaster Gilbert Velez, Grandmaster Dorinco Glandro, Master Norman Sandler, Master John Ward, and some other guys, Steve Harms, Sitaban, Lorenzo Jimenez. Can't miss it, okay? Watch it. Good. If you can join it. It's a good event. Okay, so Richard Matthew says, thank you, Frank and John. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Maestro Matthew. Vagelis, good night. You're the best. Thank you, sir. You're the best, too. Leek Peterson, humility is teachable. Great to see it in the master. Thank you, sir. Thank you for watching. Thank you all. Well, thank you, guys. Let me remind you that we are going tomorrow. We are going live. If you guys are interested in the Filipino arts, okay, we're going to have a tremendous guest tomorrow, Grandmaster John Mack from the headquarters of Cacoy Cañete 12 Pares in Cebu City, Philippines, okay? He's going to be here sharing his experience with the late great Grandmaster Cacoy Cañete, okay? He's an amazing martial artist and very good at the Filipino arts. If you want to learn more and about the Filipino arts and enhance your own Kenpo or martial art, this is definitely one of the guys, okay? Also on Thursday, we're going to have my great buddy, great friend, Kenpo Professor Jeff Koloski, the crazy Canadian. Yes, amazing guy, Vanilla Gorilla. He's going to be here on the show. Former roommate of mine when I moved to Pasadena. He was one of the guys there, and he let me stay in his place for several months. So it's going to be an honor and a pleasure to have him here on the show. Okay. And remember that we go live Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? With the English version of Coffee and Martial Arts. Okay. So, okay. So if you want to, watch the show, don't forget to do so. Leave your comments here. Okay. Damien Abbott says, yeah, yes, sir, exactly. Okay, so if you're watching through YouTube, please leave, put a like, right? Subscribe to the channel, click on the bell so you get notifications when we're going live, okay? Like and share this video. If you're watching through Facebook, share it in the group, send to people, please. We're trying to promote the Kenpo arts and the martial arts in general, okay? So if you are interested in being on the show, if you will, would like and will give us the honor, and you believe you have something to share, please send me a message, a private message through Facebook, and I will love to put you here. We are already booked all the way up a month in advance, so just be patient, please, and I would love to have all of you guys here as guests. Okay, if you're a Kenpo teacher or a promoter, and you have or even martial arts black belt, you have a school, or you have an online thing going on, whatever it is that you want to promote and be a part of this, please let me know, and I would love to help out and welcome here on the show. So thank you all. You have a great day. See you back here tomorrow with Grandmaster John Mack, and Thursday with Kenpo Professor Jeff Koloski. And remember, every Saturday we do the open mat talks. We're going to have Maestro Luis Gutierrez this Saturday. And on Friday, we're going to have also our Budo no Seishin section, okay, with coffee and martial arts. We're going to have the Budo no Seishin section, and we're going to be talking about the etiquette in the purpose of the etiquette in Japan and in the martial arts as well. So you can't miss that, okay? So be here. Jose Montiel, great time. Thank you, Mr. Soto, delighted, Mr. Ward. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Everybody, thank you all. Take care. Have a great day, and see you back here tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.